Welcome in.
I didn't do my research. I didn't because
It's all over right now. It's all over.
I don't think I've been this like kind of, like
I
buzz.
don't think he bit my ear.
Hello, let's journey to the middle.
This journey to the middle.
You'll meet them all again on their long journey to the middle.
We don't want to see him.
I hope fucking asshole is the first thing that recorded.
I don't know if it got it or not. I was wondering if it was going to pick up fucking assholes the first thing. I'm not quite certain though.
Yeah.
We'll have to see when you get the file.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Hey, thanks for reworking the logo. What program were you using for that?
Adobe Spark. It's just like a free app.
Okay.
I used that for my other one, and I'm like, well, I'll try this. The Word thing I just like did online and just did like a screenshot of it, and then I just added the journey to the middle on it.
Nice. I like that. What was it, like the metadata from the episodes? Is that what it did?
No, I just made up a bunch of like a big list of words.
Oh, nice.
I kind of went through like the episode list. I'm like, all right, what's something from that I can use, so. Your
breath smells like assholes, Lola.
Well, she likes them.
Sorry, you're going to get a couple of special guest stars tonight because I've got I was telling Matt I've got Lola and Louise in here tonight. So good times. Yeah. So you guys, Matt's listening to a football game or he had one on in the background. I'm guessing you guys were watching the foosball earlier today too?
I fell asleep. I planned on it. I woke up early. I went to the gym. I got some food, grocery shopping, everything. And then I fell asleep and woke up at 5.
I love it. What was playing, though?
Man, who played?
Packers and Buccaneers, Tampa Bay.
The Packers lost, right?
Yeah, they lost.
Okay. Because I keep seeing people bitch on my timeline. I'm like, I don't fucking know because I don't watch that stuff. Not, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the Bears didn't do anything good this year, no?
Not really, no.
All right, then. I mean, no reason for me really to pay attention at all. But, especially not even, no Chicago teams. It's all good.
Yeah, but we felt the same way.
Yeah. If they do end up signing Deshaun Watson, though, I will watch them. Although all signs point to like him not joining with the Bears, but fingers crossed.
Is he a good player?
Yeah, he'll be a way
He's
better.
the worst player. Yes, he's the good.
Hey, I don't know, man, because sometimes we get a lot of shitty players on the team, from what I understand, right? So
yeah, that's what's going on. That's why he's not coming here. We're like, too good for that.
What team is he on?
Texans for right now.
Okay. Yeah, he won't be joining our team.
No.
Sure.
I wouldn't join our team either.
I mean,
we're not asking you, buddy.
By the way, the Bernie memes have been life this whole last week.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love them.
I asked, and you guys totally fucking delivered on that thread the other day, so thank you.
Yeah, well, you stole one of mine, too.
Yeah, people are still like adding memes. Like today, a couple of my friends dumped a bunch more over there. So there's like over 120 now.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. So
I had to ask like my cousins because I went to bed and then woke up and like my whole timeline was like Bernie. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, I dig it. It's fucking hilarious. I just had no idea like what was happening.
Like, there's a couple of personal favorites now. So the Bernie Dibs, that one's fucking great. I mean, like when I lived in the city, Dibs, like I'll never. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what dibs meant the first time that I went to go see my friend Karen when she was living on like the north side. I was like 21 or 22. I didn't know because I didn't really like venture into the city. I was away at college. And so I go to I go to her apartment and I see this spot with a chair in it. And I'm like, well, fuck that. It snowed. I need to find a spot. So it was like one of those, like, it almost looked like chairs that we would have had in high school. So I moved it. And I woke up the next morning to go out to my car, and it was sitting on the roof of my car. So I very quickly learned what dibs meant.
Mhm.
Yeah, very, very quickly learned that. So that one was good. And then I also really, my other second favorite Bernie meme that I saw, there's so many that are tied, but this one I saw last night and I shared it today. Ian Ziering from 90210 posted. And it just says the Sanders, and it's him, Colonel Sanders, and Bernie Sanders all sitting. And one of my friends, Jesse, was the first to comment because I think I think my caption was something like, so if you get it, you get it. And this is fucking brilliant. Like, this is great. And he's like, who is that guy? And I'm like, so you don't get it. Don't ask me who don't ask me who it is. You don't get it.
Can't tell you if you don't get it.
Right. That's what I wanted to say to him too. And he's like, well, hence the question. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I know that's why you asked, but do a little homework. Understand your audience here, friend. Anyway.
I like the anime one. The anime Bernie.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's just like him, like an animated version of him, just like.
Is it?
Did you see the one with him and Psy?
Yeah, that one was funny.
That was one of my favorite ones.
I'm gonna have to look for some of these that you guys are talking about. I love it.
And that's what I was doing right now. I'm like, well, while she's trying to figure out what the dogs are doing over there, I'm gonna try to see if I can find like one of my favorites too.
Yeah, that was looking fun. Did you see the Crosby, Stills, Nash, Young, and Sanders?
No.
You can't see my camera, can you? I'll text it to you.
No, I can't see you. Neither can Nando, though, so it's not just me. Did you see the Queen one? Because I posted it in the comments.
I don't think I saw the Queen one.
Hang on, let me see if I can quickly pull it up here on my phone, and I'll show it. Because that one was definitely a good one. Here we go. Hang on, let's see.
I've got the Bob Ross one.
Oh, that one's cool.
Oh, that is cool.
The Bob Ross one is good too. Yeah. Little happy Bernie Sanders right here.
Yeah.
It's been a week. It's glorious meme week, that's for sure. And we kind of needed that, like a little break from all of the inauguration stuff, which surprisingly seemed pretty quaint.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was funny that people were talking about all the security and everything, and like calling us hypocrites. And I'm just like, about walls and all that shit. And I'm just like, you caused that.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. You caused it, and then you're gonna like laugh about it. And then I think my other favorite was that a lot of the QAnon folks, those crazy tinfoil hat fuckers, a lot of those folks. And no, I don't apologize if any of them are listening because I don't feel sorry for saying that. A lot of those folks now, supposedly, now they've finally like succumbed to the fact that Trump duped them. And then there was something I read that said now some of them are like saying shit in some of these like, what is it, 4chan groups? Is that what they fucking call it? Oh, that Biden was the one all along. He was the chosen one all along. And I'm like, yes, he was chosen because he was elected. That's why he was fucking chosen. Like, you people lied to. Get your head out of your assholes. Sorry. I have a little bit of an opinion about that stuff. But anyway. It's been a good week, though. Otherwise, from that stuff, it's definitely been a good week. I'm kind of excited to talk about our topic tonight, and I'm excited to hear what you guys picked because, we're Journey to the Middle.
Oh, yeah.
We are.
We're Journey to the Middle.
Are we all Journey to the Middle?
I think so. I mean, in the last time I checked, we've got a brand spanking new logo because of Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I played around with stuff and got us a new logo. So check that out. It's pretty nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Clap, clap, clap. It looks very nice. So yeah, we have a new logo. We're starting out the year fresh. Forgive me if I say fuck a lot today because my dogs are in here with me while I'm recording tonight. And the one is trying to eat all the like stuffing out of the toy that she's playing with right now. So, but yeah, I'm excited for the topic though, because this week we're going to be talking about John Hughes movies and particularly like our favorites. So I'm really excited to hear you guys talk about yours.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about Nando's in particular.
Well, who wants to go first, boys? Because I'm not going first.
Nando, because I have to pull up my notes again.
Okay.
Maybe because
I changed my screen to text you guys my Bernie meme because my camera's not on, and then I forgot to go back to my notes.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at.
He's lost too.
It's all good. All good.
I'm wondering if Matt doesn't have makeup on, and that's why he doesn't have his camera on, right?
I didn't do my hair. I'm sorry.
Hey, I mean, I even like put on makeup and like t-shirts and clothes and all that stuff today. The least you could do, Matt, is let us see your makeup today.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for putting on clothes, Dana.
You're welcome.
I showered, but
Right, exactly. I even showered today too. I'm right there with you, Nando. Right?
Yeah, Nando's already slept today and he showered, so basically for him it's 7 a.m.
yeah, I'm ready to go to work.
Hey guys, are you guys going to be able to not have to go to work on Tuesday with the storm?
We're gonna be at work.
Yeah.
We're gonna be at work.
Yeah, we don't have those cool snow days.
Yeah.
You're going to have to leave at like 4 a.m. to get to work.
Yeah, by dog sled.
I might just stay out there.
I was waiting for you to take a sip of your drink.
And I'm drinking red wine tonight. So like that would have been even more dangerous. I love you, Nando.
I love you too.
Oh shit.
She ordered. There you go.
I did.
Mission accomplished. All right, I'll see you guys next week.
Nando out.
Yeah.
The champion.
So I since I called dibs on this one, and I'll tell you why I called dibs on it. I picked weird science. Well, obviously, like I love math, and science goes together with math, but I mean, you can't really go wrong with any one of these movies. You really can't. Plus, it happened to be on HBO Max.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
wait. Update on Nando with the HBO Max situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Nando's using someone else's username and password now.
Yes, I am.
Like a true American.
At least you have it though now. Like I was all excited when Mike and I were flipping through shit last night because we total sidebar for a second. That's why we're sharing the breaking news.
Wait, Your Honor, sidebar.
What? Wait, what? Say that again, Matt.
I said Your Honor, sidebar.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Very, very, very quick. I texted you guys very late last night because Mike and I were watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and one of the apps that we saw on HBO Max was Crunchyroll, and then that other one that I shared with you too. And fuck, hang on, because she's eating the damn stuffing again.
The dog is eating stuffing.
Oh, here we go. The good thing that you did text us that since Crunchyroll is on HBO Max, I can cancel it now.
Oh, yeah, that's why I was hoping that you had like gotten it already, because I was like, well, he can cancel it now because he was talking about canceling it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't eat
And
the
then, I mean, it's crap. So I mean, cancel it.
Well, it's not crap. It's just everything's in Japanese, and I don't speak Japanese yet. So
you're paying? Here's how you justify it. I'm paying to learn how to speak Japanese.
Right. For what is it, like $7.99 a month?
I mean, it's cheaper. It's probably cheaper than taking a course at community college, right?
Yeah.
Probably, no, I mean,
There you go.
Okay, so I totally sidebarred for a second. So Weird Science, and it's on HBO Max.
Yes, it is. Oh, and here's another thing. I had seen probably like the first 30 minutes of the movie, like every single time that I've seen it. And then I would always like miss part of the middle and then come back to the end for some odd reason. You know, like I'm like, well, what happens in the middle? The important part. Like,
Basically, everything happens in the middle.
Yeah, I would miss everything that was important. So I'm like, all right, I'm sitting down, I'm watching this, and Jacqueline's like, "Don't you work in the morning?" I'm like, "I don't care. I need to watch this."
I have homework for my podcast. Yeah.
So I watched it in its entirety and loved it.
All right.
Yeah. So I was looking at this. It actually got it was 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it should have done way better than that, though.
That's interesting. So, because it's, I mean, what was the year that it was released again? 85, 86?
85.
Okay. Interesting. So set us up. Give us a synopsis of the movie, because it's been forever since I've seen it.
Right. So we have like two teenage guys. One of them's called Wyatt, and the other one's Gary. And they're both kind of like outcasts, misfits, something like that. And they're like, oh man, like those two girls over there, like they're all like wanting those two girls. They're like, well, make a girl, And so sure enough, they're watching Frankenstein. They plug up a Barbie doll and they sneak into like a computer and make this girl. And she kind of like makes them cool, like get them out of their shell and everything. But another cool thing is Robert Downey Jr.'s in it, and he's one of the bad guys, which is awesome.
The fucking guys everywhere.
I know. So like the whole time, like they're like, she's let me see her name real quick. It is Lisa. She tries to get him out of their shell. Let's throw a party. Let's do this. Here's a Porsche. So like just random cool stuff. It's just to get him going. And like obviously in the end, I think they're well better off for it. They get the girl, or each one gets the girl. But for me,
what was the meaning behind the movie?
The what?
Nothing. I was getting philosophical with this.
So the meaning.
There you go.
If you want to have, you need to build a girl.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. You want success in life, build it.
Yeah, build the girl. There was, so just in my mind, just because I was like, okay, which relationship did I like better? I kind of felt that I liked let me see, I liked Wyatt's relationship better, because I kind of like it, not to like that's like, oh, like, well, his is better than hers, but I kind of felt like Gary was kind of like the like, I'm gonna push for this, like, oh, let's do this, and Wyatt was kind of like, oh man, like let's just not throw a house party or invite like 40,000 people into my home. But I did like, because I kind of felt like his relationship I felt was more relatable for me.
Okay.
They were both good relationships. I liked the fact that they were both misfits and whatnot. But I was like, yeah, I liked his storyline a little bit better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, how do they go about? Help me with this, because like I said, I probably haven't seen this movie in like 20 plus years easily. How does the chick come together again? Like, what do they do, like, to get? Because she was also wasn't she a model in real life?
I think morph her from like other models, like Trace or something.
Mm-hmm. Like they were like inputting stuff into like his computer, and he broke into like some kind of like federal, like through the computer, like federal other supercomputer.
Okay.
And that's how they were which was really cool, because it's like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh no, like this isn't the right way. So it's like, and so like they like backed out, went to like a different thing. Oh my god, this is so 80s. It's great.
Kelly LeBrock, right? Kelly LeBrock was the chick who played the chick who they created, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay. And it was Anthony Michael Hall was one of the main kids.
He was Gary. Yes.
He was Gary. And who was the other kid? I could see his face. I don't remember his name.
Is it Ian Mitchell Smith?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anthony Michael Hall, and I'll just real quick, is like John Hughes' guy for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like a bunch of movies together.
But he's also in so much shit now, though, too. Like, yeah, like just a ton of stuff. Like Mike and I very recently have seen him in some roles, and I was like, "What the fuck, man!" Like, cool for him, you know. But yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Well, he looks completely different though.
Now,
you know, yeah, because I was like looking at it, like obviously the movie, and then I see pictures of him now. I'm like, holy cow! Like
he's like bulked up. You know what I mean? Like he like. I mean, he filled out too, though. Like, what was that movie? Johnny Be Good, I think, is like the first time that he like kind of like actually didn't look like a scrawny little fuck. And then when he was in Edward Scissorhands, when he was playing Winona Ryder's boyfriend, he was like even beefier there. So it was like, yeah, I don't know. Like he's changed a lot over the years. He doesn't. I mean, probably for his benefit. Thank God he doesn't look like that scrawny little shit anymore, right?
Yeah.
Hi Lola, thank you so much.
I want to point out real quick that like you guys can't see my camera, but like Nando's camera is just making me bust out over here because he's like Ale Borland, like he's cut off.
I know, I'm like right here.
every time you look down, it's just like half the nose and eyes up. That's all I can see.
I'm legit like trying to move it, but like every time I move it down, it goes right back to its spots. I'm like, maybe I'll go back.
Just one half of your face, Nando, like a kid, like like a kid taking a picture. There you go. There you go.
Work right here.
How are you doing, Tim?
Oh, that's right. I'm like, what was that guy from?
Man Taylor.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Nando, so you watched the movie again recently.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think? Like, what was your overall, like, oh my fucking God, keep talking, please. She's eating more stuffing again.
Well,
hey, Nando, I'll ask you the question.
Yeah,
so
please.
how did it compare to when you watched it many years ago? Did it hold up for you?
Well, it definitely filled in the gaps. Like I understood what was going on.
I hope so.
Like one of the things I would always come in like halfway through was like the random guys, like the bikers. And I'm like,
I barely remember the movie.
Because they like break in, like they bust the house party. And I'm always like, what the hell is going on? Like I'm like, maybe this, like, it's definitely weird. So I'm like, I don't know if I'll watch this movie like in its entirety. Like I'd always, start it but never finish it or whatever. But yeah, like it definitely filled in the gaps of like why those biker guys are there. But then it arose the question of what happened to the grandparents. Like, were they still like in the pantry, locked up for like she doesn't like was it unpetrify them? They're just kind of like
Oh, okay.
It's a fair question, though, right? Because you don't play up that loose end.
Yeah, because Bill Paxton goes back from being that weird monster-looking crap thingy. She's like, yeah, it'll wear off in like 30 minutes, but the grandparents were there for like a whole day, just sitting inside.
10 years later, you go back and the grandparents are still hanging out in the pantry, suspended in animation.
Yeah.
There will be a reboot and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, good call. I guarantee you, because they can't think of any original shit a lot of times these days. I'll wait for the reboot and watch that again, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So, Nando, do you recommend watching it now? Because, like, it's what, 85? So it was, 35, 36 years ago that the movie came out. Would you recommend?
Yeah, I definitely recommend watching it. You definitely get that 80s feel with it, but it's totally worth it.
I love it. Matt, you said you haven't seen Weird Science in a long time, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay. Maybe we might have to rewatch it here soon.
There you go.
Could be
Watch
good.
party.
Now, Nando, did you have any other movies that you wanted to talk about for John Hughes, or just that one in particular?
Well, I figured we could each do one and we could circle back to me.
All right. I like that idea.
All right.
All right.
I think it's Dana's turn.
Me? All right, cool. I'm good. So one of the movies I chose was Uncle Buck. It is one of my favorite movies. I'd say definitely like in my top 20. And like my dad's family, they used to call him, when I was growing up, they would call him Uncle Buck. And it's not because like John Candy, like he didn't go around wherever he went, but it's just like that was their name for him, because my dad was just like a cool uncle who was like kind of just, you know, just that cool guy who just, you know, had some tricks up his sleeve, I guess. So Uncle Buck was released in '89, and so it was released a year before Home Alone, which was released in 1990. And Macaulay Culkin was obviously, he was in Home Alone, but he was also in Uncle Buck. And he played one of the children. So Uncle Buck, like most of John Hughes movies, takes place in the Chicagoland area, like this one in particular, like the North Shore. And the premise of the movie, I don't know the last time you guys saw it or if you've both seen it. The premise of the movie is that the parents, and I don't recall their names off the top of my head, but the parents, the children, get a phone call in the middle of the night, and the mom's father had a heart attack. So they have to go to Indianapolis, and they are trying to find somebody to come and stay with the kids. And their oldest daughter, Tia, she's like 15 or 16, I think. And so she doesn't agree that they need a babysitter, but the parents are like, fuck no, you're going to have a babysitter. And so like last resort, they call Buck, who is the brother of the father in the movie. And so he comes out from the north side of Chicago because he lived by Wrigleyville, which was really cool to see all of that fun stuff. Yeah. So he comes out, and the movie, there's so many different like storylines that kind of go with it, but the main premise is, so he comes out, he's got to miss work again. He's got the place that he works at, his girlfriend kind of like runs the place. I think it's like a tire shop or a mechanic shop or something like that. And so he's got to miss work so he can take care of the kids, and he doesn't know how long he's going to be there for. So he immediately bonds with the little kids. Like they just love him because they love hearing his stories, and he's like this big burly dude, and he's just funny. But the teenager Tia, she does not like him because he's just trying to watch out for her best interests. So that's like one of the main themes in the movie is like the relationship between Uncle Buck and Tia, just because they're at odds. He's not really trying to be at odds with her, but because she's a shitty teenager, you know, she hates everybody, specifically like anybody in authority. And as the movie goes on, like, you know, obviously like Buck he's become more responsible, and the family sees that he's becoming more responsible, and whatever. But Tia keeps trying to sabotage him every time she talks to her mom, trying to like say shit that he's like doing shit and like drinking all the time, which he wasn't. And finally, by I want to say like the last probably 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, he and Tia finally kind of come to a mutual understanding, because she had left to go to a party for the weekend, and Buck found out about it, and he was pissed because he knew that the boy she was dating was this big time piece of shit. And so he winds up going to the party, going to look for her. She's not there. Turns out she had already left the party, and her boyfriend was trying to bang some other chick. So you kind of cut to Buck driving down the street looking for Tia, and he sees her walking, coaxes her. She gets into the car, and this is exactly like the point of the movie where their relationship is like, oh my God, it's great. I don't recall the dialogue that went with it, but essentially he opened up the trunk and he had the boyfriend tied up in the back of the trunk because the boyfriend was trying to pull the shit that he was going to try to pull on his niece, right? So he's got this little asshole, the actor Jay Underwood. I always thought he was an asshole face anyway. But he has him tied up in the trunk of his car, and that's when Tia sees it. She's like, holy shit. But then she starts kind of going along with his dialogue and fucking with him. And I mean, it sounds so trite to say, and everything's like happily ever after. He and his girlfriend resolve their shit because she sees how good he was with the kids. His brother and sister-in-law are cool with him because he was able to step in and take really good care of the kids while they were gone. The house didn't burn down, obviously. And Tia stopped being a shithead, and she actually like made up with her mom at the end of the movie too. So there's so much comedy in the movie, but it's a really like wholesome storyline, I guess, too. So that's one of my favorite John Hughes movies.
And it has John Hughes.
Yeah,
I just want to know, like, have you guys tried to make the big pancake?
No.
Like, where do you find the stove to do that? Where do you find the spatula to do that?
And I read something, they legitimately made that pancake too. Like, that wasn't bullshit either, because they used, if you watch it in the movie, they used a fucking snow shovel to flip it.
Yeah.
And the butter, though, the butter pad on the top of it too, it was like this thing was giant. It was huge. It was huge. But yeah, that was totally, because it was for Macaulay Culkin's character's name was Miles in the movie.
Yeah.
And it was for Miles's birthday that he did that. And so I think one of my other favorite scenes too was when he was taking the socks and he was microwaving them to dry them. And he would take tongs to pick them out of the microwave. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot of humor. And I still think, like, you know, how many years later, 32 years later, I still think the movie holds up really well. Like, I'll never get tired of watching that movie.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Matt, it's your turn, sir.
My turn already. Oh, geez. So mine was The Breakfast Club.
Nice, good pick.
1985. So you had Emilio Estevez, who was the athlete, Anthony Michael Hall, the Brain, Judd Nelson, the criminal, Molly Ringwald, the princess, and Ali Sheedy, the basket case. So Nando, I would think you were kind of like more like the princess.
That is apt. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. Yeah, looking at the characters, I'm like, yeah, definitely.
Brought a bento box to school and ate sushi in detention also.
There you go. Yeah. So interestingly enough, and like I had forgotten about this, but most of the actors, Molly Ringwald was 16 during this movie, and the others were all in their 20s. I think Anthony Michael Hall still might have been a teenager, but I think all the rest of them were like in their 20s. So I thought that was pretty crazy. And then Molly Ringwald really wanted to be Ali Sheedy's character, but John Hughes basically said no.
Yeah.
I think it's well though to have her, you know, be the princess part.
What's that?
I think he chose well to have her, you know, be the princess part, because I don't see her being kind of like, you know, like nerdy or gothy even, you know, like I don't see her. I don't know if she probably could pull it off.
Maybe she could, but no, it was definitely the right move.
Yeah.
Ellie, and thinking about that too, the Ellie Sheedy character, when she does the dandruff thing, that was Parmesan cheese.
Ew, serious. So, like, obviously they were shaking it above her head to do that, right?
I guess. I hope.
I hope so too.
And think about this too, is I forget the janitor's name, but is Carl in the movie, but his real name. But Rick Moranis was originally going to play the janitor.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. and the funny thing was Rick Moranis had and John Hughes, I guess, had differences in opinion on how some of the things in the script should be. Rick Moranis was just going to play the janitor.
Great. So then instead he did Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I think Dana would appreciate this, but Annie Leibovitz shot the poster. I didn't know that. And I'm like, oh, shit.
I was waiting for you to mention that too. So I'm sorry, like this totally has to do with the movie. It was, when was it? Like the 30th anniversary, I think. Mm-hmm. They had a special viewing at the Regal Cinemas in Crystal Lake, Matt. And so I went, Kate Nelson and I went.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. So they had like they showed the whole movie in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
Then what they wound up doing was after they would sometimes cut in like to some of the scenes and like talk to some of the actors and like have some of the stuff like some like sidebars with the actors. But then at the end of the movie, they actually had an interview that like for all of the cast. So it was really cool to kind of hear some of these things. So please continue. Sorry.
And then the soundtrack on a whole was kind of just like panned, like it was bad in this, except for the Simple Minds song, "Don't You Forget About Me." So they play the like just bits and pieces of all the songs in it, but like when you go to look at the track listing, you're like, what is this garbage?
It's true. It's a terrible soundtrack except for one fucking song.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a classic movie. I don't know how you can really go wrong with a lot of John Hughes movies. But this one, I mean, such an iconic movie for its time. And all the people in that movie are famous now.
Mm-hmm.
They all went somewhere. I mean, and Judd Nelson, I mean, you know what's interesting? I saw Judd Nelson in like the 90s-ish or late 90s probably. And then I look back and I'm like, oh, wait, that's Judd Nelson. This is Judd Nelson now. Looks completely different.
Yes.
You know, and Emilio Estevez was originally going to be his character too, and they changed it because they couldn't find anybody to be. I think it was Andrew.
Oh, Andrew.
Yeah, they couldn't find anybody to be Andrew, so they're like, "You're going to play Andrew," and then there was a bunch of people, and eventually they settled on Judd Nelson for Bender. Yeah.
Oh my god. I couldn't imagine anybody else as Bender though in that movie. Like they're right? Like I couldn't picture that.
No, absolutely not. Not now. And that's, I think, part of this movie. The thing is like, you take any of those characters and think of anybody else it could be. You're like, no, it's that guy. That's it. Hands down.
Well, you know, it's funny too. The school that they shot it at, I don't remember the name of the school, but I mean, obviously it was Shermer High in the movie.
Yes, a couple things about that. I had mentioned the Shermer High thing before, and but the actual school was Maine North in Des Plaines, which is near where we are.
Well, the funny thing is, though, the school, it's no long. I mean, it hasn't been a school forever. And what it is, it's the headquarters. It's like one of the districts for that, like one of the district headquarters for the Illinois State Police.
Yeah, for the state police. Yep.
In Des Plaines, and I had to go there, so I know I had to go there a couple years ago when I got into a car accident to file a report. And the lottery, like the Illinois lottery location is over there too. It's so random. Like, yeah. Yeah.
You walk into that headquarters and be like, yo, I can find my way through your ceiling pretty well.
Yeah. Dude, I was in the building. Like we went into the building, and like when you walk, you look, and like when you pull up, you see it. Like you can tell that that's from the movie, and you walk up the stairs and shit. It was cool.
Yeah, and real quick, that Shermer High thing. So the reference I had made to you guys was from Dogma, because like in Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob are going to Shermer, Illinois, and they're like, you know, and we get there and there is no Shermer, Illinois. It was made up, and they're talking about like John Hughes movies and stuff, and about Pretty in Pink and a bunch of in the same scene.
I mean, Shermer Road exists. So, like, Shermer Road is actually a thing, but there's not a fucking Shermer, Illinois.
Yeah. So, I got a list of the movies that Shermer, Illinois was used in. It was used in Weird Science.
Okay.
The Breakfast Club. I don't know where. Maybe the family in Home Alone. They're from Shermer, Illinois, but Home Alone's on the list.
I didn't know
that. 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, National Lampoon's Vacation, She's Having a Baby, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
She's having a baby also references. Interesting.
Yeah. He used it a lot more than I thought originally.
I'll have to rewatch that because I love She's Having a Baby. It's not a great movie, but I still love it.
Yeah.
Maybe the movies are all in the same universe.
Basically, it's like
there's fan theories.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. To connect a lot of John Hughes movies like 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink are connected somehow, and like a bunch of them.
Well, it has the same actor, so maybe.
I mean, the Brat Pack universe.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Shermer universe. I don't know. That's cool. I didn't know that though. That there was like a lot of like fan theories about that stuff too. Wow, people really dig into that. I guess, huh?
People have a lot of time.
Clearly, a lot more time than I have, and that's totally cool. That's their thing. It's all good. I will not judge them, except quietly in my mind.
Then I'll judge them out loud. No, I'm kidding.
I will judge them on my own podcast and for everybody here.
That's fair. So Matt, do you want to like? I mean, I would hope that everybody who's listening has fucking seen, The Breakfast Club, because if you haven't, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Mm-hmm. Do you want to kind of quickly like set up the characters for us, kind of? If you want to give us a premise, I'm gonna have to mute here for a minute so I can
I'm gonna yell at her dogs. I'll tell you about the Breakfast Club. Well, she does that. I think everybody kind of knows the gist of the movie, right? Like 5 teenagers, all of different groups, social groups, kind of end up in detention. That is the word, together, and they go through things. They have a time, and then they make a list or a note, a letter back to the principal, and then in the end they become friends, and then who knows where we will be after that, if we will all be the same and continue talking to each other. And then we end with a mighty fist pump in the field.
I do like that. Like how they always, or not how they always, but like how they wrote that letter and they just kind of leave it as a cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. Like, will they hang out? Will they be friends? And like so many other movies like reference the Breakfast Club, which is awesome. Because like I hadn't watched it obviously when it first came out. I don't think I was born yet. Maybe I was like -1 or something. But but like obviously like later on I was like, oh, like this is actually a pretty good movie. Like this one I had watched in its entirety. And I enjoyed it, so I'm glad.
If you hadn't seen the movie, you wouldn't be on this podcast.
I think what I appreciate about the movie is that it seems very like overt in the way that they're kind of characterizing the different cliques, if you will, because really, like, I think we can all agree it's very representative. That like each person is representative of a particular clique in high school, and I don't know. For me, like, I wasn't like hanging out with all the popular kids. I mean, I had my friends, and I considered myself part of a particular group. But I don't know. I was also friendly with everybody in high school though too. So like I wasn't trying to be a shithead to people. I mean, although I'm sure that I was like probably when I was younger though, I was more of a shithead than I was when I was in high school. But I think that they did a really good job of portraying those characters and kind of how your actions can affect others too. So yeah. I don't know. Like I pull those messages from that. I thought they did a good job with that. Yeah, that Monday they did not talk to each other in the fucking hallway.
Probably not, if we're being real. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I think in the movie that kind of gets me a little bit every time I watch is when they're talking. Well, more so Bender, and I think it's over dramatized and comes off a little cheesy in the acting. Is like when he's talking about his dad, and some of those instances when he did this to him and he did that, and it comes off a little forced, and you kind of get it to a point, but like I think it could have been done a little bit better. But I mean, on the movie in the whole, that's like probably the one complaint I ever have with the entire movie. The dancing is a little bad, but
after they fucking smoke a giant doob together.
Yeah. So originally, one of the things about that is originally Molly Ringwald was supposed to just be dancing by herself.
Really?
And she didn't want to do it. And so she thought she was bad at dancing, so she got everybody else to do it.
She did the quintessential 80s dancing. Like, what was so bad about that? I mean, bad dancing period in the 80s, and it was bad dancing in the 90s too. So
Yeah. Well, it's better than the one guy headbanging and the other guy doing the Egyptian.
that's fair. That's fair.
Did you guys watch the new Jumanji with like The Rock?
I don't know, maybe.
So they only have 4 people that like are in the game or immersed in the game.
Oh, the personalities you're getting at?
Yeah. So they only have 4. Well, and then technically one person was already in the game, so then there's the 5th one. But come Monday, they actually do kind of like talk to each other. So it's kind of like yeah. So it's like, I forget which character says it, but kind of like how Dana, how you brought up, like, well, on Monday, are they going to talk to each other? Or is it like, fuck you, I'm going to my own group, know? But with Jumanji, I think that, like, they actually went like, oh, like we actually went on like a, real life.
Hold on, Your Honor, I have a sidebar.
Yeah. You have to raise
a sidebar. Are we comparing Jumanji to the fucking Breakfast Club?
No, just the whole, like, because they had the 5.
We're comparing a movie with The Rock. And Jack Black.
And Kevin Hart.
The goddamn Breakfast Club.
And Carrie and Jillian. But what I was getting at was, like, because it's kind of like they have like the 5 different, like genres. But like, I don't know if like the Breakfast Club. Yeah, it was like detention was like a thinking experience, like growing experience. But like Jumanji, I mean, yeah, it was like in a video game. It was a little bit different experience. But like the cool thing was that I guess if you wanted like some closure on the Breakfast Club, like, will they talk to each other? Like Jumanji's like, yes, they do.
I could see the parallels. Like, right? I could see like a little nod to the movie that way.
Yeah. Whatever, Matt.
Dana, that's very nice of you.
But I get where he's going with that though too. It totally makes sense.
Yeah, they're different movies, like completely different movies. But
yeah, I think that a lot of movies though have done a nod to the Breakfast Club. Like I think a lot of the that's why I think that this is such a good movie to talk about anyway, because I think that a lot of the 90s, like, quote unquote, they didn't call them the Brat Pack, but I'm gonna quote unquote call them the Brat Pack. But there was a lot of like 90s movies that came out that were 10, 12 years later that had very similar thematic undertones, right?
Yeah.
You had the different groups and shit, and like they were forced to be in specific situations, and so there were so many. So it wouldn't be surprising to me that a movie like Jumanji, like would kind of pick up some of those undertones in a way later on down the line. I don't know. It's interesting to talk about those, like this movie in particular. So.
Yeah, put my little philosophical hat on for a second.
I like it. Break through the philosophical barrier.
I'm going to let it go that he actually made the motion of putting on a hat.
I did. But it was a small hat, not like a really big one. It was a little.
Right.
Good day to you, sir.
And I say good day, sir.
All right.
Love it. I love it. Let's see. So Nando, do you have another movie?
I do.
All right. Want to hear it.
Let me pick it up. Okay. I picked 16 Candles.
Nice pick.
Wait, did you just change your background?
Sure did. Now we're on the beach, son.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I look up and it's like the different background.
You guys should be able to do it too. Like in the bottom like the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, like there's like 3 dots. You should be able to do that too. I vote that we all do that.
Oh man. If you want me to,
you can't see me.
Yeah, turn on your fucking camera.
My camera's on. I can see myself.
There's gotta be something that's
shit.
He's
all right. You know what? I will work on that, Nando. I can't believe you're about to talk about 16 Candles.
You called me the princess like 5 minutes ago.
and you picked her movie. So
yeah, I did.
I'll be right back.
Well, let me tell you why I picked 16 Candles. Okay.
I want to hear it.
All right. Oh, Matt's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Matt totally just pieced out.
Yeah, like, fuck this. So I actually picked 16 Candles because when I was younger, one of my cousins, like, she mentioned it to me and I'm like, oh, like, I'll watch it, whatever, I don't care. but then we were going out to a bar in it's called Bourbon Street out in like Marriott.
South Side, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then so she's like, oh yeah, 16 Candles is playing. And I was like, that's a movie. It's not like like it's a movie. It's not a band. And she's like, no, it's like an 80s cover band. So yeah, so sure enough, like, we went to watch 16 Candles, and I'm like, all right, let me go rewatch the movie now. So I rewatched the movie, and I'm like, yeah, it was pretty cool. It's basically Molly Ringwald's character. She's turning 16. Kind of like a little love triangle between, let me get his name right. What's his name?
Jake Ryan.
Well, Jake Ryan, but I always forget Gary. Like, I always forget his name in the movie that I just saw.
Anthony Michael Hall?
Him. I don't know why I can never say his name. But him.
Oh.
Yeah, their little love triangle, and then she's obviously being overshadowed because of her sister's wedding and all that stuff. But it's such a great like throwback to grade school, not grade school, but like middle school, high school days, where you're just like, oh, well, I like her, but she doesn't like me. He likes, you know what I mean? And it's just like kind of like, man, that totally happened. But obviously, like I didn't have Molly Ringwald hitting on me, because I was the princess, according to Matt. I'm gonna hold on to that forever now. So
wait till we get to work.
I know, right? So, but here's the other reason why I'm like, I gotta pick this movie. It was released May 4th, 1984, the day before my birthday.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, May 4th be with
you. You were almost born on May the 4th.
I know. Oh, that would have been so perfect.
You were born on
Cinco. Every year you can make the May the 4th joke.
I know.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I have Cinco de Nando. That's fine.
There you go. I love it. Yeah. I love 16 Candles. You can't forget Long Duck Dong. And with her fucking like little like neck brace shit.
We still can't see you, Matt, by the way.
No.
No.
Right, well, I guess it's too bad.
Stallions behind me.
Yeah.
It's very majestic.
Yes. Very majestic.
Thank you, Google Hangouts.
And it's not Bill and Ted Wild Stallions either. It's horses. Ooh, yeah, 80s reference.
Let's see. Is that a little bit better?
There we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got the skyline there. I have like the Simpsons living room. One I can do.
I see you, Matt.
I know. I'm sorry.
I don't understand it.
Let me see. Change layout. No, that's.
Oh, wait. Are you drinking red wine out of a red Solo cup?
Fuck yes, I am. I'm fancy and shit.
All right.
I am fancy, and I'm also very proud of myself because I've had this bottle of wine for like days this week, and despite like my incredibly long work week again, I didn't house it like all in one day like I wanted to.
Jacqueline and I are doing dry February, so we're trying to drink everything right now.
Oh, I'll be right over to help.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, let me go get like 8 masks and I'll come over and I'll help take some of that shit off your hands, man. Like
that's like that one bar at the end of the season because they can't be open during winter that they just have this massive sale. And there's like one night everybody fucking shows up and drinks the place down.
Are you serious? Is that out here?
Yeah.
What?
That's Blarney's. Blarney Island.
Island does that? Oh,
yeah.
Really?
They put everything on a discount until it's gone.
Well, I'm looking forward to when we can go to that terrible karaoke bar that I texted you guys last week.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Are we gonna have like a little mini live show there?
Fuck yeah, we should totally do that, man. We could do that. I have the equipment to do like, I gotta find it. I packed it away, but I've got like a recorder, like a portable recorder I could bring with.
Oh, okay.
I love how
This is Dana when she's been drinking. So
I love how my arm disappears, by the way.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I love these backgrounds here. Sorry. I never play with them. People on my work calls do all the time. And so I'm just like, look at my dogs instead. But
I'm trying to figure it out, but I can't.
Okay, so here, I'm gonna present.
Oh boy.
This is gonna be sad for a second. Matt, you can totally cut this out. It's like we're totally sidebarring here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, I see. Okay, yeah, you got the Pornhub up.
Yeah.
You gotta close those windows before your calls, Dana.
Matt, do you? Okay, Nando, can you see?
Not even using incognito. What are you doing?
Me?
Nothing.
Nando, do you see in the bottom? Can you see like me here down in the bottom?
Let me turn
with
off
the white bar. I don't know if you could see that.
on the bottom. You are. I see where it says you are presenting.
Okay, these 3 dots here.
Yeah.
And then it should say change background.
Oh, see, mine says change layout, but I don't have. I see it says change layout full screen and then turn on captions. I don't have change background. Oh, that's bullshit.
Sorry. Here, look, I'll put us in a pool of water now. There we go. Sorry, I'll give you a little bit of, you wish that you were here kind of thing. I'll just keep switching my background for you guys, like throughout the rest of the episode. Sorry, you guys can't do
Fantastic. Not distracting at all.
Not at all. Okay, so 16 candles. Sorry. So going back.
So there's one night at Bourbon Street when they played. No.
So you got it, like you got the notion to watch it again because you saw the band called 16 Candles, which now that you mention it, I have heard of them. I do know that they're a cover band. They do all the 80s fun stuff. Any favorite characters? Any particular favorite scenes in the movie? Because I love that damn movie.
Oh, I'll have to have the favorite one be with Molly and Jake Ryan with the birthday cake, just because they have it on Family Guy.
Say that again.
So like it's Molly Ringwald, with the birthday cake and Jake Ryan, but Family Guy has that same scene where it's Peter and Jake Ryan.
I remember that episode too. It was so hilarious. And he's like, "Oh, Jake," and he's like, "Totally, yes." Like,
yeah,
very, very good scene.
So like, if I ever watch the movie, all I could see is like Peter and Jake Ryan, not Molly.
I think one of my favorite things is Long Duck Dong. What's happening, hot stuff? Like, I don't know. It makes
when he's hanging upside down in the tree.
Yes. It makes me giggle every fucking time I see that movie. It's so stupid, but it's so funny. And that guy wound up being on ER like 10 years, not even 10 years later, but maybe like 7 or 8 years later. He's being a crazy little foreign exchange student to a doctor on TV.
All right, Dana, what's your next movie?
My next movie is Pretty in Pink. Y'all were kind of talking about it before. Always will love this movie, and I love Annie Potts' character in the movie. She's the one who runs the record store. She's also on Designing Women. The whole because who is it? Andrew McCarthy is the one who plays her love interest, and then John what's his nuts plays Ducky.
No.
No.
From 2.5 Men.
Yes. What the hell is his name?
Not Charlie.
John Cryer.
John Cryer. Yes.
I'm like, damn it, what's his name? John Cryer. And of course we have James Spader, who's like 80 years old in the movie, who's playing a high school kid again.
He's still 80 years old.
He's basically still 80 years old. The movie though, it's interesting. It's in my opinion, I'm sure everybody's opinion, it's a break from what The Breakfast Club was. This one, it was a comedy, but it was a little bit more there was a little bit more drama to it, I think, because there was more of a storyline to it. Like Andy, who is Molly Ringwald, her dad is kind of down and out because he hasn't been working, and she's trying to help him find a job and all this stuff, and she's having to be the adult in the household. So she's also the kid from kind of the other side of the tracks in a way, but not because of her behavior, just all because of her status, I guess, right? Her financial status. But but yeah, like her best friend is fucking Ducky, who's like the coolest character in the world. Kind of a dickhole at some points in the movie, but still, you know, good, still a good character. But she winds up finding, like, she has a love interest in Andrew McCarthy, who's this rich kid. And a lot of the story, I mean, you guys, before you know, a lot of the story is just kind of between like the kids, the rich and popular kids, and like the people who are not as well off financially. Yeah, no, it just, I don't know. Like, I always remember, and I say this to you specifically, Matt, because of where we grew up. I just kind of always like remember watching that movie and seeing a lot of parallels to some people in our high school, and I was like, "Oh, you motherfuckers!" Like, I really do. I really do still see those parallels. I saw them back then. I see them now still. Like, I think, again, it's like another good example, another like really good characters. Yeah. We have like, you see those cliques, you see those popular kids, and you know, you see how it plays out.
I think 20 some years later, there's still some of that, and some of it's gone. I think mostly gone, but yeah, I think those strong stereotypes in certain people are still there.
Totally. And I mean, yeah, it's interesting you said, yeah.
And if you're listening, it's not you.
Right. We're not talking about you specifically, but we're talking about you specifically. Wink, wink. But no, it's interesting you say that though too, Matt, because this is gonna sound so silly. I remember watching this movie not long before our 20th high school reunion. And I remember watching this movie and I was kind of like, man, like, I still see a lot of those. I can still see a lot of those similarities. So yeah, it was interesting. It's an interesting.
What's it called? My 20 years coming up next year.
Dude, no. I was on the committee. No, go for sure. I was on the committee to help plan ours. It's totally worth it, I think.
Because I missed my 10-year one.
I did too.
Yeah.
And that was
go have a good time and don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry. Yeah, it's next year. Jesus.
Yeah, you got a whole year. Maybe there'll be another pandemic. You can't go.
As Matt's planning to release another like version of COVID. Kidding.
Right.
He's got his petri dish. That's why he's not like presenting his screen. His petri dishes at home.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I could see him as a mad scientist. You know?
He's like the mad scientist in Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah. All right, children, settle down. Settle down.
All right, sorry. Yes, so 16 Candles. I'm sorry, Pretty in Pink. 16 Candles was Nando's movie. Pretty in Pink. I think I personally think it does a little bit better of a character study than Breakfast Club did, in my opinion, because you have more of a storyline there. Like Breakfast Club, you're just kind of stuck in Saturday detention, but Pretty in Pink kind of goes through some things. And, of course, at the end, she winds up with the guy, but he had to apologize profusely for being a shithead. Like he totally needed to win her back because he was such an asshole to her. He was just an asshole to her, and she stood her ground, and strong female vibes there. So,
And Dana trashed on my pick, and she's being nice to Nando.
It wasn't a full trash, man. She just said hers was better than yours.
Trash.
Yeah, that's what I heard. All right. I'm going to finish us off. Dana's now in the Mediterranean.
I was the same, like, yeah.
All right. So my last pick, and I don't know, this is probably pretty predictable, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Still a good movie.
So you got a bunch of people that also went pretty far. Matthew Broderick, Alan Rook, sorry. Mia Sara, Jennifer Grey, Charlie Sheen, Edie McClurg, and Jeffrey Jones, who played the not a huge name, but plays the principal.
Well, he was in Howard the Duck, and then he became a child molester.
Oh no!
As happens to people.
Right.
Lots of good people.
Yeah. So one interesting parallel is in Ferris Bueller. You know, the scene when they go to the restaurant.
Mhm.
What was the name of it? Shay, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But they go to the same restaurant as the Blues Brothers go to.
Seriously?
Yes. Yes. Something I didn't know.
I didn't know that either. That's cool.
Also, every scene that Ferris is in with Rooney, so the principal, every scene that they're in together, only one person is ever talking in the scene, and the other person never responds.
Did they shoot him separately?
No, they just in the scene they're never talking at the same time. There's the one scene where he's at the doorbell, but Matthew Broderick's not actually the one talking; it's a recording. The other scene where they're like on a phone and it's like threatening, and the other person never talks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought of that.
Yeah. What's the other thing? So, there's a poster in Ferris's room that has the Simple Minds. Don't You Forget About Me on the back.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah, and I forgot about that too. I'm like, oh, because I'm talking about both these movies.
Mhm.
And here's a weird one. So, Dana, you might be able to name some of the people that were originally going for the Ferris role.
Okay.
So Rob Lowe, John Cusack,
Really?
Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr.,
Yeah.
and Michael J. Fox. And also there's one more, which I'm very skeptical about this being a fact, but Jim Carrey.
Very early in his career, so I could potentially see that, right? Because that vampire movie he had already done.
Yeah, it's not like Jim Carrey like famous. This must have been Jim Carrey on a small rise.
Yeah.
Like, let's throw this name in. But yeah, that was odd.
Ferris Bueller was 86 when it was released.
Ferris Bueller was 19, and I didn't write it down. 86, I think.
It was I thought. Interesting about Michael J. Fox. I could see him. I could see him as a good contender.
86.
Yeah, out of that list, like probably Michael J. Fox over John Cusack. He's a little bit more of a obscure character, not such a strong character, you know. But the last little tidbit I got for you is, you know, the song Donkey Shane that he sings in the parade.
Yeah.
There's another part, two parts in the movie where Jennifer Grey's character is humming the song. There's a part where Rooney is like whistling it. And then there's one more part, which I forgot what the fourth one was, but like there's 4 appearances of the song Donkey Shane in the movie.
And doesn't she sing? Okay, so I remember Jennifer Grey actually singing the song in the movie station. Yeah,
she's singing it.
Okay.
And then like Rooney was either whistling it or humming it, one of the two.
Okay.
And then there was like another one. I might have been Edie McClurg, like in the office or something. I can't remember. But
after she pulled out like the 800 pencil from her hair.
She did her own hair for the movie.
She did her own hair for the movie.
Yes, she had the idea that this character would have like a 60s hair.
Yes.
And that
yeah.
she would have that 60s hair because it always looked good on her. And so she kept it. And so she showed up on set, and John Hughes is like, I wonder how many pencils we can fit in your hair.
Here, let's see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go rewatch this movie now too. Like, you know, like just talking about it, like I'm gonna have to go rewatch it now.
Yes, like I want.
First, I've seen Ferris Bueller way too much, and it's a great movie. It's probably one of my favorites.
It is a great movie, and I do like because we talk about this, like other movies throwing shit back. Deadpool did the throwback to Ferris Bueller, right?
Yeah.
The movie, and I always appreciate that stuff. I like that because it's still like John Hughes movies. I think are always going to be relevant in pop culture.
Yeah.
That, like, yeah. I think that they're always going to have popularity to some degree. And not just with our generation, because there's Nando, for example, different generation.
Young.
I think that I love John Hughes movies, and I honestly, until I started like looking, when we decided that this was going to be kind of the topic for the show, until I started looking, I didn't realize how many movies were John Hughes movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was shocked. Like some of the list, I'm just going to quickly pull that back up again.
Yeah, I was just actually going to look for a list too.
Yeah, because I looked this up the other day and I was just shocked. I was like, how are those movies? So here we go. Let's see. Okay. Please hold. Standing by, listen to the terrible music. Okay. Now here's movies I did not know. National Lampoon Class Reunion. I don't fucking know. Mr.
Real quick before you get going on that list. Nando, turn your volume down.
Oh.
I mean, I can just mute him too, and tell him to unmute. No, I'm just kidding. I would.
Am I the problem?
I do that.
There's a little echo. So
yeah, I do that.
Sorry, guys.
No,
you should have told me like an hour ago.
I didn't know.
It wasn't going the whole time. It was in and out.
Mr. Mom had no idea about that one. National Lampoon's Vacation, Nate and Hayes. I don't fucking know.
Made in Manhattan.
Yeah, dude. Like that's one of them. European Vacation, Some Kind of Wonderful, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. She's having a baby. Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, Career Opportunities, which my buddy keeps talking about that movie. I'm gonna have to watch that. Only the Lonely, Dutch, Curly Sue, Beethoven. Let's see the ones that I was surprised about here. Mallrats. Was that more because he got credit on that? It was some other kind of.
That might have been a producer credit.
Yeah, it says special thanks in the notes column on Wikipedia. I don't know. 101 Dalmatians, Flubber. Yeah, you said Made in Manhattan, and then Drillbit Taylor.
Yeah, Drillbit Taylor is not one in that list.
So I was gonna pick Made in Manhattan.
Were you?
Just mad at curveball and be like, why the hell are you picking this?
You should.
16 Candles didn't throw me a curveball.
But you know what else? Though? I was like, I'm pretty sure you guys were gonna do like an 80s theme on that one too. I'm like, I don't want to be the oddball out and pick like something that came out in like 2010 or something.
It would have been great had you picked Drillbit Taylor. My favorite, John Hughes movie is Drillbit Taylor.
Or Curly Sue. Dutch was a good movie, though. Dutch was a really, really good movie. That was Ed O'Neill, and I don't remember the little shit's name who played the kid in the movie.
I got to go back and watch Dutch.
I love that fucking movie. I just watched it like a year or so ago. It's hysterical. And Nando, if you have not seen Dutch,
I haven't.
I really recommend it. It's very funny. Very, very, very funny. I love Ed O'Neill anyway. I think he's hysterical. I think he's such a good actor.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with his name, Nando. He's the guy who played Al Bundy.
Oh, then yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
and Modern Family. Yeah.
Just Dutch was a great movie, and of course, like the Christmas Vacation and European Vacation, like of course those movies are great movies too. Come here, Louise. You want to be a special guest star too? Everybody else has been. Come on. But I was surprised when I looked up that list. I mean, John Hughes did a lot in his career, and I hope he's resting peacefully, because he did so much in his career. It's just really, really cool. Like he contributed so much to the film industry, and it's just really. I like that we can still talk about these movies and still like draw like messages from them. It's cool. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, very, I think Dana kind of wrapped the topic up pretty well there.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of did.
You kind of did. All right, good job.
Yeah, no, I think I'm glad that this was our theme for the week. I think it was interesting. It was fun to go back and think about some of those movies.
All right, so I'm going to Jerry Springer this. Nando, any final thoughts?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, if you want to get on Matt's bad side, pick a random movie.
If you want to get on Matt's bad side,
Pick something random to throw him off.
just be Nando.
So
I was just surprised by your picks. That's all.
I know. Well, don't I always surprise you though?
I guess I shouldn't have been surprised because just earlier today, this guy put that he was interested in going to the next Taylor Swift concert.
I was gonna say,
which I thought was amazing. That showed up on my timeline, and I'm like, this is perfect.
Oh yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, I wonder if Matt's gonna comment on this.
I didn't make a comment. I just had the Kermit the Frog meme.
Yeah, you're like.
But anyways, so yeah. So
yeah, my final thoughts on this. I'm gonna have to agree with Dana. You know, it's such a great like timeline of movies. You know, if you look at through them, and you can pick and choose. Obviously, like if you want to just watch a movie just because it's funny, or if you want to like a positive message out of it, something to reflect on. I mean, people are gonna like throw look at these movies and be like, oh my god, let's throw a little nod to this movie, or like a couple minutes, and people will pick up on it like within seconds. Just because they're so memorable and they're so great. Even I went back and watched a couple of them, and I was like, man, I can't believe I didn't watch it the first time it came out. They're so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so John Hughes, I think, just captured the 80s, early 90s fairly well, and just put out a Hall of Fame list of movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got. So I think Dana froze. So if you want to email us, journeytothemiddle@gmail.com. I'm looking to see if Dana's still alive over there.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not frozen on my screen.
It might have. Like it's been wonky for both of you two for the last couple of minutes. So like I'm listening and I'm definitely listening, but like yeah, you guys have frozen up too. Like Nando's frozen right now.
All right. So journeytothemiddle@gmail.com. Find us on the Book of Faces and share, subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends. And that's all I got for today.
Cut off, unfortunately. We had the fun of frozen screens there for a minute.
And your audio going out. So
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Cool.
I think we're just going to have to say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.